Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. So, 10 days ago, I posted a video, got questions, and I put it to private after a while, but because I had enough questions here for one video, I think about 43. And so here we go, and thank you for everyone that asked a question. I'll try my best to answer them. And if you have a question for me, it's easier to do this kind of video than, type it out or, you know, on Facebook or something asking me questions. Just doing it this way is easier for me. And so, yeah, if you have a new question, just ask it in the comment section below. And in, a couple of weeks or a month, I'll maybe do another one if there's enough questions. More than 2 at least. So here we go. And a lot of these have been, subscribed to me for a while and have commented a lot. So I thank you, like I already said. David Carroll, I2Q. Have you ever done a reaction to the Stone Roses debut album, Rest in Peace, Manny? On Patreon, I just checked. I don't honestly remember because I've done hundreds of song reactions, but I'm sure I enjoyed them. I've done 3 songs. I Want to Be Adored, I Am the Resurrection, and Song for My Sugar Spun Sister. Henry D. Brugen 2259. Hello, do you know Magma or have any albums by them? And I won't read I'll just get to the main question. I think I did do a song reaction on Patreon a long time ago. Maybe a couple of them. I think they were live performances. I don't honestly remember, but I have heard the band. Ethan, I know you're into weird music, so has there ever been a band that you've listened to and thought they were too weird and out there and never got into them? Yeah, well, I wouldn't say, I just have a wide range of music I love, right? I also love normal bands, Led Zeppelin and AC/DC and whatnot. I would say the one band is The Residents. I have their album Duck Stab, which I love, and I was buying some of their other albums and kind of enjoyed them, but then I kind of realized, yeah, they just weren't for me. They were, I don't know if it's because they were too weird or what, but I just didn't enjoy it enough to buy more albums. So right now I've only got Duck Stab, which I will always keep. Terry Dactylus 1320, something like that. If you could choose 5 other famous people, currently alive or dead, to have over for dinner, who would you choose? Okay, I'll get his answer here. Well, I think I would prefer them to be alive. I don't want to imagine somebody that's passed away. So people that are still alive. Paul McCartney, Ron Mael of Sparks, Russell Mael of Sparks, Sean Lennon, and I guess Ringo Starr. He was a Beatle. All right. Sika 1. I would ask you 3 questions. Your most treasured item in your music collection. I think I can guess. I'm glad you can guess because I can't. I guess I would say the Beatles in Mono box set. I love that. Your 10 most favorite bands ranked. I'm not going to answer that one because at some point I want to do a new ranking of my 10 favorite bands because, every year it changes. But my top three would be the Beatles, Sparks, and maybe the Beach Boys or Ween. If you could go back in time to see one concert, I guess, as much as I would love to go back and see Paul McCartney again, I met the band backstage, but it's got to be Sparks. The last time I saw Sparks with Molly, and I was in the very front row, and of course, met them after the show, and they were super nice. Why, and Stationaire T6H, why do you say a boat instead of about? Now, I'm Canadian too, so a bit of self deprecation is okay. What is your favorite part of Canada? I don't know. I haven't been through all of Canada. When I was younger, like in the 60s, I went out west, Saskatoon, and I've never been out east, so I can't really say because I haven't really traveled much in Canada. But, I've been to the States, I've been to California, Seattle, Florida, and Texas. What song and or movie has had the greatest impact on your life, emotions, and just one that stands out to you personally? For a song, whoa, there's just so many great songs. For a song, I will go with the Yes song Awaken because the last two lines in that song always get to me, and it's one of my all-time favorite songs. And for a movie, I think the Beatles' A Hard Day's Night because I remember, well, I don't actually remember, but I kind of remember being at the theater to see that movie back in 1964. So that's, a very special memory along with seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show before seeing the movie. Okay, Joe May. Are you into any music that's coming out today? If so, what? I do listen to some kind of current bands on my Patreon when I do song reactions or album reactions, but I've done hundreds of artists on there, and I can't, name any of them, but I have checked out some new music, not that I buy it, and a lot of it I have really enjoyed. Eric Martinez 261. Larry, I have a weird question. Can you give us a meaning of the nickname Canadian Stud Muffin? Yeah, I've told this story before. I used to create mainly comedy songs on this website in the late 90s called Acid Planet. And they had charts there. It was using music loops, and, some real musicians would be on that site too. And sometimes they would add guitar to my songs or whatever. And sometimes my songs would end up at number one on the charts on that site. And when I started there, it was under my real name, right? And because I was getting popular on that website, I thought, no, I need a stage name. So obviously I'm Canadian, so I thought of Canadian. Then I was thinking, what would be, something funny to go with Canadian? And so obviously I thought of Stud Muffin, because I ain't no stud muffin. It's a joke name. Okay, Maca Photos. Do you remember the first record you ever bought with your own money? I'm pretty sure it's when I was a paper boy back in 1970, and I bought Grand Funk's live album, double vinyl record. and it's still my all-time favorite live album. How do I say this one? Ekatura Nessa Forza Ghost in what's on 4778. I hope I said it right. Hey Larry, what would you order at Timmy's today if you went? I know you're off gluten. Well, let's switch that because Tim Hortons, I'm not really, I was never really a big fan of their donuts or even their sandwiches. I was more of a Burger King or McDonald's kind of a guy. So if I could, I would go to McDonald's and order a quarter pounder with cheese and fries and a pop. I'd be happy. Or even better, there's a local pizza place here called Tommaso's that have been around for many, many years. And I really miss their combination pizza. So that would be the first thing I would get if I could eat anything. Anthony, who always comments on my videos, thank you. Were there alternative radio stations, independent record stores, or free music mags in Canada that would play, sell, or discuss new, non-mainstream music? And there's the rest of his comment there. No, I would mainly just, be buying like Rolling Stone back when it was an okay magazine, back in the 70s and 80s, and Cream, Circus. They did have, free magazines, but I never really checked out any bands that weren't, at least semi-known, I guess. Yeah, that's right. Back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, you would just read about a band. It could be in any magazine, right? Not just Rolling Stone. And if they sounded interesting, you might end up buying their album and regretting it or being happy that you bought it. JAMQ3OS. Love how you get straight into the great content with no intro. Thank you. I put your stuff on loop every night when I'm trying to relax. Well, if you watch my videos, you will definitely fall asleep within a few minutes. Thank you. Melanie Sevens. Is that how you say it? Or Melanie's Evans. You're on an island all by yourself. Other than Sparks, what four bands' entire catalog of music do you bring with you to pass the time? The Beatles. So it's got to be a band with a big discography or an artist. So the Beatles, Lou Reed, the Beach Boys, and I need Ween. So even though they don't have a big catalog compared to the other ones. Camden McKim. What was your first job? What has been your favorite job? My first job was a security guard at a hospital in Belleville, Ontario. I was there for, I think, 2 or 3 years. And I enjoyed that job. And then what was my favorite job? Probably that one, being a security guard. Charles W. Barnes-esque, 6551. It just rolls off the tongue. What jazz albums do you like? Not really big into jazz, although I do appreciate Miles Davis. I've got some of his albums. And I love Frank Zappa in his jazz rock period with, Hot Rats and the Grand Wazoo. But that would be about it. Velvet Head 79. Larry, greetings. You're the main reason I got into Sparks. Thank you. I thought I'd get good at reinstalling spark plugs in my house because I'm a fan of Sparks and I like plug from the Beano, but alas, zapped again. Maybe that's why Zappa is called that. Got zapped. Favorite Zappa and Sparks album. Okay, favorite Frank Zappa. It changes all the time, but I'll go with Bongo Fury because it also features another one of my favorite artists, Captain Beefheart. And for Sparks, that changes all the time too. But I will go with Indiscreet. Alk 61695. How many concerts have you attended lifetime? Who have you seen? Which one was your favorite? I actually wrote it down, but I don't think I have it now. So I'm not going to remember everybody, but I haven't been to, a lot of concerts, but a few. I have seen, the first concert I ever saw was King Crimson in 1974, and Golden Earring opened up for them. I've seen Sparks at least 5 times, six times. I've seen FFS, which is Sparks collaborating with Franz Ferdinand. I saw them once. I saw Paul McCartney. I got in for free thanks to their guitarist Brian Ray because I worked on a video with him. And so he got us tickets. So I was 9 rows back center stage, and I met Paul's band before the concert, and that was amazing. I've seen Cheap Trick, April Wine, Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad, Max Webster. I've seen Burden Cummings with Randy Bachman. I've seen Sega, and I've seen U2 twice. Those are the ones I remember at the moment. And my favorite, well, it's got to be the last time I saw Sparks, as I mentioned earlier. And Paul McCartney, of course. All right, Ralph Acton, and this question has been asked a few times. People have written to me, and I do, with social media, it's like everybody needs to know everything, right? And sometimes it's good to just not say anything. So, Ralph Acton, just wondering if you're still friends with Glenn Kellaway. I noticed you never talk about him since you stopped your CD exchanges. Yeah, we ended our friendship a few months ago, and I'd just like to, keep it private. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I say, right? I can't, it's just too difficult to get into it. And then I don't want people taking sides. Some people might take my side and whatever. If you like Glenn, that's great, right? But we're just not friends anymore. And I've moved on. And, I'm sure some of you watching this video have had friends in the past that you're no longer friends with today. And, it's just personal reasons. So, moving on. And, I was thinking of doing some kind of CD exchange with some other YouTube channels in the hopefully near future. So stay tuned for that. Maybe just doing it online. So, Ghost of John Lennon. Seriously. Yeah. And I apologize for answering your question, but I thought it was I didn't realize it was from this particular video. Seriously, how's the no marijuana going? Fellow Canadian here, where I can get it in 5 minutes if I want. It's hard to avoid. Yeah, I could easily. They're everywhere here in Ontario. And I haven't had any problems. When I quit, I didn't have, looking back on it, I was thinking maybe I was addicted to it. And now I think, I don't think I was addicted because it was easy for me to quit, right? And I don't really desire it or anything. So I don't miss it. So I'm happy. And I feel better too. But, not to say, I'm not saying marijuana is bad, because I know there is some good, especially for people with chronic pain, but it never really helped me out. David Texter N7V. Hi, Larry. Question. Do you have any guilty music pleasures? Yeah, I've said this before. I don't believe in the term guilty pleasures. If you like a certain artist or whatever, right? Why should you feel guilty for liking it? It's what you like. But I guess, I was thinking over your question before, and I guess I will say, because this artist is not well liked by a lot of people and is bashed a lot, and I am a fan of Yoko Ono's music. And if you're not, that's great. But I don't have any guilt saying I'm a fan of her music. A lot of people that do bash her really haven't listened to her actual albums, where, they're song based. It's not all this scream. And I actually do love some of the screaming, like Yoko Ono's song Why, with John's guitar work throughout it. I love that. But, she's got a lot of song-based albums that are excellent for me. Maybe not for you. You're finally home. Hello, Mr. Graves. My question to you is, if you had to change your YouTube name, would it be either Stud Bagel or Stud Croissant? I kind of like Stud Croissant. I'll go with that. All right, Music and Cat Lover, another viewer that comments a lot. Thank you. What do you think about the Paul McCartney Wings limited edition on 2 CDs? I just have no interest in it, because I've got all of the Wings music, so I really don't need it. I'm sure it sounds great and everything, but knowing me, I would buy it, I would play it once or twice, and then it would just sit in my CD collection. I'd rather listen to, one of his studio albums or one of the Wings albums instead. But, it's great for other people. And thank you, Ernest, for commenting. What is your most prized possession? Where is one place you'd love to visit? Well, one place I would love to visit with Molly is Liverpool, England. What is your most prized possession? I guess my computer, because without my computer, I wouldn't be doing YouTube videos, would I? Okay, be some. Hey, Larry, hope you're doing well, brother. My question is, how have you been managing your chronic pain? It's just been a pain. And what I do right now is I've tried different prescriptions and nothing's really worked. So I just take Tylenol 1s and or Advil, extra strength Advil. But I'm very careful. I don't overtake anything. I follow the, every 4 hours or whatever. And I don't take anything at night. I'm fine at night laying down. So it's just, during the day. And Molly and the kitties are doing well. And, we're both just going through personal things. And we're together. We're not together. But we're hoping to change that in the new year, early in the new year. And the kitties are doing well. Thank you. Jamie King 158. What are your thoughts on the band The Strokes? I've heard their music on Patreon, and I do remember really liking it. Oliver Nanisto 3552, something like that. I've never really listened to classical music. Well, I've heard it, of course, but I don't have any. But I think I would really enjoy it. Yeah, because it's music. Yeah. Janet Sampson, better known as Bob. Larry, are you related in any way to Jim Carrey? Distant cousins or something. Maybe your uncle who used to be your aunt. Any connection there? Nope. And for C. Shortridge 1, how did your doctor visit go concerning your chronic pain? You can see here the x-ray that I finally got back. And everything's good except it says here, small blocked hernia is possible. So they're going to be, I'm going to be going in for another chest scope at some point. And I am seeing another doctor on December 9th in Mississauga, Ontario. Hopefully get some help at last. But it's been, very frustrating, as I'm sure it has been for you. We're just lucky here in Canada that, a lot of our health care is free. I don't have to pay for x-rays or anything or, doctor's appointments. Nicholas, another one of my viewers that comments a lot, and he's on Patreon. Have you seen Spinal Tap 2? Picked up the 4K disc and thought it was pretty good. I don't know. It really bombed at the box office. And just from reading reviews and everything, I'm sure I'll watch it at some point. But I'm starting to think I might be disappointed when I finally do see it. Mutant Blues, what are, in your opinion, the 3 greatest composers of the 20th century? Oh boy. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and Brian Wilson. Favorite Beach Boys song? They have so many songs I love, and a lot of deep cuts. But I would say I got to go with God Only Knows as my favorite. And then, I could list 100 other great Beach Boys songs. MDA.87, would you do a wine review video? Well, if you one thing, if you do this, if you go to my front channel, if you're wondering, I wonder if Larry did a video on whatever, ZZ Top. Or if I've done a wine review, just go to my front page and type in wine. And there you go. I've already done 1, 2, 3, 4 wine reviews. So there's your answer. And the final question. Gelatine and Donut Fan 17. When did you start becoming gluten-free? It was maybe about 10 years ago when, doctor's appointments and all that, and they thought maybe I wasn't keeping in the nutrients that I should be. They found something, right? And so they did a scope. And they realize that I have celiac disease, which sucks. And so, I have to eat gluten-free. And so that's not fun either. But that is it. Thank you all for the questions. I hope most of you are satisfied with the answers. And we will do this again. And like I said, if you have any questions, just ask them below and I'll start adding them up again and do another video at some point. Have a great day. Please remember to like the video and leave a comment below. Bye.